Employment First State Leadership Mentor Program, EFSLMP, is a program through the National Department of Labor through their Office of Disability Employment Policy, ODEP. And what it does is it provides support to states around the country that are employment first states who want to promote employment opportunities for people with disabilities, but need some extra help and assistance from the National Department of Labor to provide training, to perform capacity building, to develop resources, to bring people together to come up with solutions. One of the focus areas over the last several years that's been consistent is something called provider transformation. And that's where we get the opportunity to work with some of our service providers in the DIDD network, who historically, many of them have been pretty focused on facility-based services, providing services to people with disabilities within their premises, within their four walls. But actually, we know that best practice says that we can and should be providing opportunities for people in the community, to work in the community, to live in the community, to volunteer, to go to the grocery store, to live their lives in the community. And so what it really requires is a pretty fundamental shift in how our service providers are staffing their organizations, how they're planning activities, how they're creating programs, how they are shifting mindsets and attitudes for their employees. So we're able to provide some of that assistance over the years to providers to do that. This is now our 6th year being part of this program, and we are turning our attention to ways that we can continue being sustainable. It's been really phenomenal having federal support over the last several years for this kind of work, but we know that if we want our work to be sustaining and last for months and years into the future, that we have to figure out ways of making it a state-sustained initiative. So really the focus for provider transformation this year is taking what we've learned over the past several years, taking those successes, and developing a program for us to continue doing that as a state for years to come. So in recognition that we need to make our work inclusive and all-encompassing for Tennesseans with all disabilities, for another year we want to make sure that we're focusing on individuals who have behavioral health diagnoses, because we know that they need unique supports to be able to get and keep their jobs too. So we are working very closely with the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services, with vocational rehabilitation and TennCare. And actually one of the things that we want to do this year is we want to explore ways of expanding access to and education around something called individual placement and support, IPS. And this is a very research-based, heavily evidence-based practice for helping people with disabilities get jobs. And specifically, it's been proven to be the only effective strategy based on research for people with behavioral health diagnosis. So it's incredibly important that we make this service available to all Tennesseans who want access to it. Businesses are always looking for good employees who can enhance their bottom line, who can make contributions to their business, so business community wins. We know that when folks are working and they're able to earn income, that it helps them be more self-sustaining and contribute to their communities. And so really, employment helps everyone. From our increasing GDP to decreasing employment rate to a decreased dependence on public benefits programs, really all around, employment is a win-win situation. It's not very difficult for a state to declare itself an employment first state. So back in 2013, when Governor Haslam signed Executive Order 28, that declared Tennessee an employment first state. And actually, there are several dozen states around the country that have also declared themselves an employment first state. But I think what really sets Tennessee apart and what sets other states like us apart is our ability to really lean into that designation. We don't just call ourselves an employment first state. We are willing to put executive backing behind that statement. We're willing to put resources, time, and energy and bring everyone to the table and actually get something done. One of the most exciting things for this year is that the Department of Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities has been working very hard on creating an employment first program that is going to take everything that we've learned through our involvement with ODEP's Employment First State Leadership Mentor Program and put it into a state program that we can make sure is sustained for months and years to come. So our department is very excited about rolling this out in the near future, and we're hoping that it's going to help take Tennessee to the next level.